As humans, we're programmed to fear the unknown. That's why we like knowing what we're having for dinner. That's why we fear the dark. When we feel like we're not able to control future events, we anticipate disaster. This causes people to worry excessively about all the different possibilities in a certain circumstance. People resort to dealing with this by avoiding any circumstance in which some uncertainty could appear. Studies have showed that people with anxiety think that worrying will actually lead to a more positive outcome. Fear may have been purposeful thousands of years ago when our ancestors needed to think on their feet when another tribe attacked them. But we don't have spears. We're living in a completely different age. There's a quote here that I really like, and it says, "We're living in a space-age time with stone-age minds." And that's true. We inherited the same cognitive functions as our ancestors, yet we don't have to worry about tribes attacking us. So for the person who suffers from social anxiety, for example, you need to retrain your mind to not react to perceived threats. And because our brain works the same as it did thousands of years ago, having an interaction with someone is not an imminent threat. It's not something that's going to kill you, but your brain tells you it is. So you need to rewire yourself. You need to expose yourself to situations where you are interacting with people so that you realise, actually, I'm not actually in danger. It's just my mind is playing tricks on me. And this is where AMOR FATI comes into play. AMOR FATI simply means lover of one's fate. It's accepting everything that happens in your life, the good and the bad, in the past and the future. So AMOR FATI teaches you that you should embrace every single thing that happens, even if it might seem cynical. So even when you lose loved ones or someone completely betrays you, you need to see these things as necessary to your development and growth. No one grows by sitting in their comfort zone. No one grows from an easy life. We become stronger by overcoming adversity. So we need to accept that the bad isn't necessarily bad and the good isn't necessarily good. Friedrich Nietzsche is the person who came up with this concept, and he states, "My formula for greatness in a human being is AMOR FATI, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely to bear what is necessary, but to love it." Most of the time we dread job interviews, we dread death, we regret what we've said to a certain person in the past. However, we should not resist the bad events in our lives because they only strengthen us. Marcus Aurelius captured this, saying that everything you throw in front of a fire is fuel for that fire. The bigger the obstacle, the more difficult the challenge, the stronger and more intelligent we become. In contrast, look at what we assume to be good in life. Those that win the lottery often become depressed. Spending excessive time on holidays often makes people lazy and ill-disciplined. There's a story in Taoism that explains why we shouldn't label something good or bad. And it's about an old farmer who worked his crops for many years, and one day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbours came to visit. "Such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "Maybe," the farmer replied. The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. "How wonderful," the neighbours exclaimed. "Maybe," replied the old man. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses and was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbours again came to offer their sympathy for what they called his misfortune. "Maybe," answered the farmer. The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbours congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. "Maybe," said the farmer. AMOR FATI is often easy to apply to the past because we have the benefit of hindsight. It's easy to see the relationship that we're in was not serving us, or that being sacked from a job led us to our dream job. However, the concept of AMOR FATI is not always easy to apply to the present. Our brains often skip to the worst possible scenario. When people are in an anxious state of mind, the amygdala goes into overdrive and cuts off all communication with the frontal cortex, which is the rational part of our brains. However, if we adopt this mindset of AMOR FATI and see everything that happens to us as necessary, We will not be scared of the future, and we will not feel resentful about the past. As Nietzsche said, we need to be a yes-sayer to everything life throws at us.